up into East Fowl River. So this does not include, at this point, Bellingrath Gardens or East Fowl River, but it does include, the warning actually does include those areas, but it looks like those areas are going to be a little bit north of where the system will be crossing, at least initially, which is down here on the southern part of Fowl River. So the storm-based warning, if your phone is alerting you right now, includes places like Jemison's and the Alabama Port, areas along Highway 188, the Delchamps community along Bellingrath Road, West Fowl River, and then to the north up to Bellingrath Gardens and the Rebel Road area, which is near Bellingrath Gardens proper, and then up to the Fowl River communities along East Fowl River out to the mouth of East Fowl River, and some of the houses along the bay on 193 south of Fowl River. There is a new tornado warning that was just issued for Mobile County, and that is for this cell here, which we were noting was starting to exhibit more of a hook signature on radar. It is tracking to the northeast, and it is over Portersville Bay. Right now, the rotation area right here, these little islands here, Marsh and Cat Island, are teeny tiny little islands right on the southern section of Portersville Bay. Your area of concern is going to move over this. This is all marsh grass pretty much right here, but there are some houses here on Heron Bay, the north end of Heron Bayou, which actually flows into Heron Bay. And there are also some houses here where West Fowl River goes underneath Highway 188 to the east of Coden, and that's where we think that this circulation will head first. If it continues to take a more northerly track, it could end up crossing Fowl River around Delchamps and Bellingrath Gardens. So we are alerting you to that possible tornado. We've had one of these already in our area today. I'm here tracking along with meteorologist Jennifer here on Fox News at 4. Hey, Jen, what are you seeing with this storm?
Yeah, so we are continuing just to see, again, as Jason mentioned in the commercial break, we were mentioning just how strong of a hook it was. He's been tracking it throughout the 4 p.m. hour. We were just waiting for it to get closer towards land before National Weather Service. They were likely going to call this. If it continued to keep what we call that hook echo, really looking textbook like how it should, you can just start to see some of that inflow taking place. Again, it's mainly going to be right there. You can start to see where it goes in. It almost looks like that comma shape, the shape of a C. That's going to be that hook echo that we always try to look for on that radar scan. Now we are starting to see some of that on the velocity too, just showing some of that inbound, that outbound flow, and showing some of that rotation that we really have to monitor as it pushes closer towards southern Mobile County. So this likely is that water spout that's over water right now, but because it is more associated with this storm, that's why we have to take it serious and continue to monitor it, as it will likely still hold together a little bit as it pushes over land. As Jason mentioned, we've had multiple confirmed tornadoes across the southeast for today here in the Fox 10 viewing area. We've mainly had that one that we were monitoring earlier closer towards Grand Bay, so still experiencing power outages closer towards Grand Bay Wilmer Road. We did just get that brand new scan, if you notice there in the background, just showing a bit more of that broad rotation. So it is looking a little less organized as it gets closer towards land there in far southern Mobile County. But in case you're just now joining us, in case you just got that alert on your phone, breaking down who is included in this tornado warning. Dauphin Island, you're not including it in. This is all going to be on the north side of you. Areas closer towards Bayou La Battery, Irvington, Grand Bay, Theodore, you are not included in this. This is going to be in far southern Mobile County. Really just on the east side there of Coden will be those portions of Mobile County that are included in this. Baldwin County, you're clear from this, but it will be something that we have to monitor as it tracks towards the northeast, moves over Mobile Bay, and continues to track through Baldwin County. So it's going to be so important to stay weather aware for today, stay weather aware for tomorrow, and then overnight Saturday into Sunday. Meteorologist Matt Barentine on Good Day Gulf Coast, he said right now this morning, this is starting off a really that 36 to 48 hours of an unsettled period that we'll be tracking across the Gulf Coast. So we kept you updated this morning. We kept you updated through Studio 10, Fox 10 midday, and now continuing with our team coverage here at Fox 10 into this evening. Jason.
And if you're in Bayou La Battery right now, I'm sure sure you're concerned. I mean, we do have a tornado warning for the south part of the county. This one looks like it's out of play for Beulah Battery based on the current track. It's moving up across the far east side of Coden, and it really looks like it's out over Mississippi Sound here. This is Coffee Island right there, and so your tornado taking more of a northeasterly track. It looks like it's going to come ashore, and it could be a waterspout too that may dissipate as soon as it hits land. We've seen that with some of these rotation areas before as well. This is Hemley Road right here, and that's one of the last places you can get down to the water there around Shell Belt Road. And then after that, this is all marsh grass right here. I mean, if you can look underneath the overlay here, there's not any housing here, no roads or anything like that, just marsh grass and bayous and that kind of thing. That is Goose Bayou right there. And so this is tracking up towards West Fowl River, and this is Highway 188, and then you've got Delchamps Road leading north, and you've got Zerlot Road leading north, and you've got the Delta Port Marina area here, which is now a public boat launch. A lot of fish camps and houses there in that spot, and this rotation area is going to go right over those areas I just mentioned, east of Hemley and somewhere here around Bellingrath Road and 188 between Coden and Alabama Port. After that, if it takes a more northeasterly track, it could get very close to Bellingrath Gardens, if not maybe a little more over on the east side of the river, which would be near Pine Top Road, and then getting over to Highway 193 as it approaches the far eastern edge of Mobile County and the western shore of Mobile Bay, and really anywhere from the mouth of Fowl River down to about Alabama Port, including Bay Palms RV Park, is going to be included in this tornado warned area. Hopefully it weakens some, but it's still showing rotation there, crossing over Portersville Bay and then moving up here onto land somewhere around the mouth of West Fowl River. Let's check debris. I doubt we'll see much because most of this has been over water, so it's not likely to incorporate debris into the vortex, but there is looking at something there, Jennifer, here. We do have some potential debris possibly right in that area there. That is something to monitor. Could just be a very, very intense column of water getting drawn up along the water spout. There are a lot of oyster farms in this area here too, in this pocket of Portersville Bay and where West Fowl River dumps out into the bay. So looking at it on velocity, we've seen the rotation. Looking at it on reflectivity, we've seen the hook. There is a warning here from the National Weather Service now, a tornado warning in effect for southeastern Mobile County. And there's a look at it right there. So when we say a hook, sometimes it's not an obvious thing, but Jen's drawing it out on radar right now. This would be the core of the thunderstorm, and then this is where the rotation would be occurring, and sometimes you'll see a bit of a hooking of the reflectivity, which is showing up here, and then you've got that inflow notch, and then that is where the tornado would likely be occurring here, real close to that point right there, and then getting close to the mouth of West Fowl River now and tracking off towards the northeast right now at about 15 to 20 miles an hour. We have it crossing Highway 188. We've got Bellingrath Road right here. This is 193, which is essentially Dolphin Island Parkway, up along the west side of Mobile Bay, south of Fowl River. All these areas are going to be included in this warning as long as the warning remains in effect. It looks like it's going to stay in effect for a while longer. Some of the other roads I want to tell you about, some of the other communities, Rock Road too. You are under a tornado warning right now along Rock Road. That's going to continue really anywhere from the 188 area all the way back over to Bellingrath Road on Rock Road. This is in the far southern part of the county, some farmland there. And then we get over towards Bayou Jonas, which there is some development there in the Bayou Jonas area, which is a tributary of West Fowl River. We also have Zerlot Road here and Day Springs Road, which are included in this warning, and as well as Lossing Road there as well. And then just to the south here underneath the banner, there are a number of homes and fish camps here, which are located in some of the canals, Green Drive and Morris Drive. These are canals that lead into West Fowl River here, included in this tornado warning. And then we are also looking at some of the areas out ahead of it, Day Springs Road northward, Drag Strip Lane, Delchamps Road. You've got the Bay Springs RV park somewhere down in here. Baywoods Drive as well along Highway 193. These are areas on the west side. There's Pine Top Road, which I mentioned here too. Rebel Road, which is over towards Bellingrath Gardens, included in this warning, as well as some of the areas here on the south side of East Fowl River, the possibility that could go over the Monlouis area, Faustinus. This is all stuff that's over just on the south side of Fowl River here. Fowl River proper a little further to the north, technically included in this warning too, but it's a pretty good ways down the road, and we'll see how it plays out. We just got a new volume scanned in, so updating you on the position fix of this. Your possible tornado would be located right here near the mouth of West Fowl River. The rotation again looking a bit broad right now. It's not as well defined as it was earlier a couple of volume scans ago when it looked like we definitely had a well-pronounced waterspout. There's another look at it there, and again inbound outbound velocity showing some broad rotation here right near the mouth of West Fowl River, tracking up towards Bellingrath Road. If you are just joining us, to get you up to speed, we had, and yes, there may be some debris there. It's a little suspect. It's on the south side of the precipitation shield. It's getting over some marsh grass there, so if we do have a tornado, it could be lofting some marsh grass up in it. Definitely something to watch there. All right. Earlier, we had a tornado warning about 2:30 this afternoon for a tornado that likely touched down out near Grand Bay Wilmer Road near Oak Hill Farms, and it tracked up through the Southern Oaks subdivision. So these storms have had a history of producing tornadoes today. This is another system that is likely producing at least some rotation, possibly a tornado near the Heron Bay community and on the east side of Code Inn. We have a much greater severe potential for tomorrow. We have a level 3 enhanced risk of severe weather in our area tomorrow, and it looks like tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night, it will be active once again with the possibility of severe weather in our area. And of course, we'll have more coverage for you through the weekend. We're updating our Fox 10 weather app. We're also going to have coverage here on air, as well as the situation may go downhill again tomorrow. Today, we had a level 1 marginal risk of severe weather, and we've seen a couple of tornado warnings, one verified. Tomorrow, we actually jump up to a level 2 slight risk for severe weather with the level 3 enhanced risk over Greene County, Washington County, and Clark County. And this is still the day 2 outlook. This will get updated, and when we get in that day 1 outlook, it may expand again. So something to watch out for there. We'll keep covering that here on Fox 10 News. And Jennifer, are we getting any updates on any confirmation of a tornado here in southeast Mobile County?
Not seeing any of those confirmed updates, Jason, at this time. The National Weather Service continuing just to keep this tornado warning. For any of the folks watching, and they had questions about what was this darker color maroon box that was located over a big portion of Midtown, downtown Mobile. Well, that is going to be the flash flood warning from some of those storms that we were tracking earlier. We got in some of your photos and your videos really showing some of that water that was accumulating on the roadways, especially one specifically that was submitted by Ruby earlier. That was going to be closer towards Airport and University. The car still driving through it again. Your best decision in situations like that, if you can't see the roadway in front of you, turn around, don't drown. It doesn't take much to move your vehicle. So again, just go around it. You're going to have to find a detour just to avoid those intersections. That way you don't put yourself or others at risk. But again, that was going to be that flash flood warning that you start to see just for that dark maroon coloration box. That's going to be closer towards Mobile, including portions of I-65, I-10, downtown, Midtown, West Mobile, and extending out towards South Alabama and also Dawes. That tornado warning that is only going to be including the southern portion here of Mobile County. Dauphin Island not included in that. By La Battery, you're also okay. Some of this is just going to be tracking further towards the northeast. And as we've been seeing just over the past 10 minutes, I would say, is more of that broadening with the rotation. It's looking less and less impressive, less tight of a couplet that we're seeing out there. Normally, it's the bright red and the bright green that you want to see on both sides of it to be that tornado warning. This isn't that. Instead, what we're starting to lose is some of that red coloration. We still have a little bit of that bright green right there, but it is looking less and less impressive, which is great news, because what that means is that this threat is only beginning to diminish as it continues to push over these land areas. When we were monitoring it earlier and when that tornado warning was initially issued, it was just over water, so it was likely a very strong water spout just on the south side there of Coden. Now it's starting to move over some of those marshy areas, some of those fish camps, as Jason was mentioning, and beginning is to move closer towards 188. They're just expecting this to cross really on the north side of Alabama Port, closer towards Delchamps. But I am continuing to monitor all of your comments too. A reminder, we are live streaming on our apps and also on our Facebook Live. I had some folks earlier that were located in Grand Bay where they lost power earlier because of the confirmed tornado that moved through. And so a reminder, in case that happens to you, even with some of these strong storms, they're having some of the wind out there that's knocking over some of those tree limbs. It doesn't take much to lose power on the Gulf Coast. We're all aware of that. So again, in case you lose power, just a reminder, you can always stay updated with us by downloading those apps, heading over to Facebook. And in case you have any of those questions, you can ask them here. I've had quite a few folks that are located in this specific area. A lot of folks closer towards Fish River. They've been checking in on their location. They said, hey, Jason just said my road. And so that's going to be so important to stay updated with us, knowing if you need to go into that shelter. But I will say this area of rotation that we've been monitoring, it's looking less and less impressive, which is great news as we progress further on into the evening, and especially as we're losing some of our daylight out there, Jason.
Yeah, one of the things I want to do here, Jennifer, we got a northeast speed at 15 miles an hour on that. So when you get a chance, I'd love to see some storm tracks and see if some other roads and communities pop up with that cell there in Mobile County. You can see right here is our tornado warning here. We've got Alabama Port. We've got also the Coden area, and the core of the storm, very heavy rain over Rock Road and 188 right now. Your rotation area is going to be right there near the mouth of Fowl River. It's moving northeast at 15. So that's where we're seeing that storm right now. And it is within this polygon right here. And so you see Jen pulling a storm track up. That would have it in Delchamps, which is basically where Delchamps Road and Bellingrath Road are. And that's by 448. So only in about 5 minutes would this rotation area be up closer to Bellingrath Gardens. We have it in the Faustinus area, which is located to the south of the mouth of Fowl River near Monlouis Island. That is going to be by around 5:02. The warning is in effect until 5:15, and we do have it in a community called Sunny Cove, which looks like it's up towards the Theodore Industrial Canal here. That is moving northeast by at that 15-mile-per-hour track. We'll see if the warning is still in effect that long. Right now, it's still active, but the rotation has broadened a bit. We still see a bit of a hook signature on radar. We've been watching this for a while. This is the same cell that was over Petty Boy Island. It clipped the west end of Dolphin Island, but it did it where there are no houses, so there was no warning then, even though there was a lot of rotation right over the far, far west tip of Dolphin Island. And looking at it now, volume scan now shows that your hook signature is going to be passing over West Fowl River. So it's going to be very close to the Delta Port area. There is that rotation area there. And you've got all those canals here off of Delta Port, and then 188, the Zerlot Road area up to about Redfish Landing, and then also Bellingrath Road and Jonas Bayou, all very close to this rotation area. It is moving northeast at about 15 miles an hour, which would continue it off in the direction just to the north and east of Zerlot Road and getting close to 188, as well as getting over towards 193 and Dolphin Island Parkway as it moves up the west side of Mobile Bay here in southeastern Mobile County. And it is a radar indicated tornado. Again, the rotation is not super strong right now, but it's enough to keep the warning going for a while longer. And of course, with us under an active tornado warning, we're going to stay right here with you on Fox 10 News. No commercials or anything, just straight weather coverage as long as we're underneath this threat. And we've had some damaging tornadoes or possible tornadoes in our area today. It's been an active weather day. More active weather is expected to ramp up again starting tomorrow in the afternoon and evening, as we do have a risk of severe weather. Talking about the alerts right now, this is a flash flood warning, and it's really a National Weather Service criteria thing. The warnings are expected to be issued for a longer period of time because sometimes water, it floods a street or some drainage ditches, then it runs off into creeks, and then creeks rise, especially in an urban area. But I like the rainfall rate that's going on within the warm area right now. We're not seeing anything exacerbating the potential flooding, and likely a lot of the ponding on the roadway is starting to subside, with the exception of this shower coming through the northern part of Dog River and down DIP south of the loop. And here at the Fox 10 News studios, light rain showers here. We want to take an overview of the area just to show you where everybody is. Of course, we are under an active tornado warning for southern Mobile County, but we also have scattered storms here. And we had a warning earlier for this cell here, which is in Stone County. That's been allowed to expire, but we'll have to watch that too. You can see the lightning associated with it here. It's getting into southeastern Perry County. It's not far away from Bendale in George County. And so we're going to have to watch some of this stuff here too as it moves along. It is getting a little bit more linear in nature, but with the lightning there still showing plenty of instability to feed off of. We're getting thunder showers through Bay Minette. That's what's left of the storm that produced a tornado over western Mobile County earlier, but not severe at this point. And light showers for Bruton, Evergreen, and Jay. No rain yet in Pensacola, but it's close. You're likely going to get in on the act with some of this coming up later on. So current setup, we do have an active tornado warning in southeastern Mobile County. There is some weak rotation that is going on associated with this cell here. The structure of it, there is still a hook signature showing up on reflectivity. It is very close to or over the mouth of West Fowl River, where it dumps out into Portersville Bay, very close to 188, and it's tracking to the northeast, which would bring this thing basically up Bellingrath Road and up on the northern end of Zerlot Road as it crosses and really tracks right on up West Fowl River here. And the Rock Road area, there's Delchamps Road there. So your possible tornado would be located right here, and it is moving on off towards the northeast at 15. And yeah, so it still shows up as some rotation there on radar. The red box is the storm-based polygon for the tornado warning. And you may be wondering, hey, wait a minute, I didn't know anything about any tornado warnings today. Well, if you're in Citronelle, you haven't been underneath any. And if you've been up into Saraland, for example, you haven't been underneath any tornado warnings. So your phone hasn't gone off. The Fox 10 weather app may not have alerted you because it's only going to alert you for areas that are within the storm-based warning. If you are located within that warning and you have location services on your phone, then your phone will go off when you're in a warning for that specific area. It's gotten that specific with weather technology now. And there it is right there, your rotation area coming up. So there are parts of Mobile County that are under a warning, but there are also parts of Mobile County that are not under a tornado warning right now. And that includes downtown Mobile, Midtown, West Mobile, some of the areas that hit hit by a tornado earlier. You're not included in this. This is southeastern Mobile County and down around West Fowl River. So a little bit different part of the county. It's quite a diverse county. If you look at Dauphin Island and then drive, a solid hour and you're still in Mobile County, in northern Mobile County, up in the hills. So quite a bit of different terrain going on and a lot of different weather that can happen over a very small area. And this is only part of our area here across the Gulf Coast. So Highway 188, we've got some rotation there crossing the Fowl River area. It's crossing Bellingrath Road and tracking to the northeast towards the Faustinus community. We've not had any reports of this being a confirmed tornado right now. It did appear to be a very strong waterspout over Portersville Bay, and now it's going to continue to move to the northeast, more over the land areas. But we have seen systems that look like waterspouts, and then once they move ashore, they start to dissipate and fall apart. Nothing stands out as debris to me on this particular shot here. What you'd be looking for, the rain shows up as purple, and then things that are not rain show up as blue or green pixels. And down on the southern flank of a thunder shower, it's very common to start to see some noise here on the correlation coefficient. But when you would see something really bright, like what we call a debris ball, where you have yellows and greens really tight within the rain shield, that would be actual debris. So not seeing that there, although there was a little suspicion that this right there, one more frame, possibly could have been a waterspout lifting right there. But right now, I don't know, maybe right in through here, something to watch there around West Fowl River, possibility of some debris there. So we are continuing to look at this from all angles with our storm tracker technology here on Fox 10 News. Rotation, reflectivity, and also the possibility of debris, and also monitoring what's going on National Weather Service chat, as well as reports from you, the viewer, on our social media pages like our Fox 10 Facebook page, and also getting updates through our Fox 10 weather app just to keep a close eye on what's going on. Never a good situation to be under a tornado warning like we are right now in Mobile County, even though the rotation is not particularly strong with this possible tornado going on right now around Bellingrath Road and Alabama Port. Jennifer, do you have anything new to add to this coverage here?
Not quite anything new, but just a reminder to the folks watching out there that in case you join in on any of our coverage, you can always do so by downloading the Fox 10 weather app. You can stay updated with us. Also, you can submit your pictures and your videos. So in case you're ever seeing any of that damage out there, we pass it along directly to the National Weather Service. We call that ground truth. That's how we can confirm whenever some of these systems come through. If you notice how hurricanes, we always mention the category that they are before they make landfall. However, tornadoes, they work a little bit differently. We can always rank them after they move through. So it's not before, it's mainly going to be after they move through, after we start to see some of that sunshine, the clearing. The National Weather Service, the folks there, they're fantastic. They can go out and they can survey afterwards, and based on the damage, that's how they rank some of those tornadoes. And so it's so important for you to share those reports with us whenever that happens, because that way we can pass it along to them. They can send their crews out there and they can survey that damage to get a good idea of how strong it was. Now, we are continuing to live stream here on our app, on the Gulfstream app. So in case you have Roku, Apple TV, Fire Stick, you can stay updated with us there. Your phone apps too, in case you do lose power with some of these storms, regardless of where you are. I'm getting reports today all across the Gulf Coast of some of those strong winds out there. And also what we've been seeing too is just some of those photos, those videos that you've been sending in. Now, I did get a brand new update from the National Weather Service. They did say that the storm is looked to be temporarily weakening out there. However, they are planning to keep that warning going. Given that the storm appears to be cycling right now, it just means that it could possibly re-intensify as it tracks further towards the northeast. But we did get that brand new scan there off of our radar, and is showing it much more broad. We're starting to lose the look of the hook there that Jason was mentioning earlier. It's that comma shape, that C shape, and that's where you can start to see some of the inflow and it beginning to wrap around and rotate. So looking a lot less impressive at this time, but that update did come from the National Weather Service about 5 minutes ago. So that was closer towards 4:48 that they sent that one out. The warning technically expires at 5:15. They can cancel it before, but as mentioned, it's looking less impressive there on the radar scan. I'll go ahead and check that velocity scan too, and really beginning to lose some of those bright colors. It's really that bright red, that bright green that shows where that rotation is taking place. And at this very last scan, beginning to lose some of that closer towards the Delchamps community, really just passing over Bellingrath Road is where it was last located, but starting to lose some of that bright coloration. So that is going to be the good news, but especially with so many mobile homes in that area, so many campers too, it's important to stay updated with us as we do continue to track this and see if it could possibly strengthen.
And we did get a picture coming in through social media of a very strong waterspout off of Coden. I just retweeted that actual post at Jason Smith Fox 10 on my Twitter feed there. And so that was from Ralston Park in Coden, and you could actually see it as a waterspout. Certainly that was going on. Now it looks like this thing is moved north of 188. And it would be up over West Fowl River, almost to Bellingrath Gardens around the Monty Road area here in Delchamps. And it's moving northeast. It will begin to pull away from Bellingrath Road. It's also cleared Rock Road now, and it's going to start moving over Fowl River and then tracking up towards Pine Top Road, which is located on the south side of Fowl River. So this will be some areas to watch out. But the good news is that the rotation is very, very broad in nature right now. So it is not likely producing a tornado imminently based on what we're seeing right now. But we have seen the structure of these storms change very, very rapidly. There's still some degree of a hook going on here. There's your inflow notch there. And so your possible tornado would be right along Bellingrath Road, now north of Highway 188. This one's not moving as quickly as the tornadic storm that was over West Mobile that was moving at 25 miles an hour. This one's moving at 15 miles an hour, so it's a little slower. And what you will experience here in places like East Fowl River, and the Pine Top Road area, and then down towards Delchamps Road and the Baywoods area. This is going to be a period of some very, very heavy rain. Then you're going to get a break, and within that break, that's where we've got to watch for rotation. Most tornadoes are actually not completely enshrouded in precipitation. If they are, they're enshrouded in light rain. And so what you'll see is you'll get a core of heavy rain and possibly some lightning strikes first. Then you'll see a break, and then you'll be in the gusty winds part of it, possibly the rotating part of the storm, which will occur secondly. So right now, this thing is moving up Bellingrath Road. Bellingrath Road runs northeast at this point, and it appears the cell is lifting northeast. Eventually, Bellingrath Road starts to shoot off towards the northwest as it gets a little closer to Theodore, and so the cell will be pulling away, crossing Fowl River and working up towards the mouth of Fowl River, the Monlouis Island area, Faustinus, and areas along 193 to the north here as it moves up along the western edge of Mobile Bay. And the warning is going to stay in effect until 5:15. Your current time is 4:57, so we have a ways to go if the Weather Service decides to stay with this warning all the way through the end of the warning. We have got a ways to go with this coverage here, and we're going to stay with you here on Fox 10 News. But there are some other things that we need to discuss besides this possible Doppler radar indicated tornado, and that would be more possible severe weather coming into our area tomorrow. This is just really the initial part of it. It's really a two-phase thing. The surface warm front is coming through today, and our severe threat is marginal today. It's exceeded expectations to some degree with a confirmed tornado in our area and some rough-looking storms. Tomorrow, the threat is larger, and what I want to point out is this orange area right here. This is a level 3 enhanced risk for severe weather. And then there's a heightened risk of tornadoes within that orange area. That includes us. So the outline of our forecast area where people watch us on TV is right here where you see the county warning outline. And so this is going to include Greene County, Washington County, and Clark counties in the enhanced risk zone. And then we have in yellow most of the rest of the area. It does not include Destin or Pensacola. Well, I guess technically the north side of Pensacola, but we do go over to level 1 marginal risk across the far southeast panhandle. Most of our area is either in a level 2 or in a level 3 risk zone for the possibility of severe weather in our area. So we will have some threatening weather that will be approaching the area as we go through the day tomorrow. It looks like the more intense part of it will be happening sometime tomorrow evening and will continue into your Sunday morning, where we have rough weather continuing in the forecast area. Right now, tornado warning for Mobile County until 5:15. That includes southern Mobile County. And we are also monitoring the potential for another round of severe weather in our area tomorrow. Let's look at our Fox 10 Futurecast, and I'll walk you through the potential for severe weather in our area and when we expect it. And our HRRR Futurecast is showing that what we have right now with the severe storms in our area also will be potentially continuing for the next couple of hours. It should wane some later tonight, and Jennifer's getting that pulled up now here. And so this is what we have going on now with some isolated severe storms, still a thing through 6 o'clock and possibly through about 8 or 9 o'clock tonight. The overall tornado threat may be a little lower, especially overnight and into tomorrow morning, and things will get cranking again tomorrow. These cells here around lunchtime and early afternoon will have to be monitored, and then a surface squall line will approach from the west, and the current timing is a little later than what we were earlier thinking. So it's looking now that this line would start moving into the forecast area around midnight by about 2 or 3 in the morning in Mobile County and Baldwin County. This is on Sunday morning at 2:30 a.m. By 5 a.m., most of it's out of the picture, but definitely between midnight and about 3 to 4 a.m., we could have another round of severe weather impacting the Gulf Coast. We've already had a warm-up situation I have to contend with today. Not good. Cleanup is underway in the Southern Oaks community, the neighborhood there in Grand Bay, and also along Grand Bay Wilmer Road, where we've had some damage and a good portion of northern parts of Grand Bay impacted by a tornado earlier. Right now, the one tornado warning that we're looking at is, with another 14 minutes to go in this warning, is in southeast Mobile County. And just to update you on what we're seeing here, we've definitely got heavy rain and some lightning. We're also noting some weak rotation over Fowl River between Bellingrath Gardens and the West Fowl River Bridge over 188. And again, the rotation just looks like it's almost completely dropped out of this right now. I'm not seeing anything that really stands out. It would be right here near Delchamps Road, which actually does not continue across Fowl River. That road has been abandoned and is no longer county maintained. This is Day Springs Road here. And so you are looking at, I believe, Deacle Road right through there, possibly Deacle Road there. It's not labeled, but it does there. This is the this is Day Springs Road there. That also does not cross Fowl River, by the way, so that may be an old road right away. And if you look down underneath the overlay here, those are some of the canals there that we were concerned about, some of the fish camps there off of West Fowl River. This is West Fowl River, and it runs right up through here on the east side of Bellingrath Road, all the way up past Bellingrath Gardens, and then hooks up into East Fowl River just north of Faustinus. You've got West Fowl River here, and then it continues up towards River Road, and it stays a little south of River Road and tracks on off towards the mouth of Mobile Bay. There is a warning still for this area, but again, the rotation is not very impressive on radar, which is good. It did produce a confirmed waterspout over Portersville Bay earlier. It is no longer in that area, but it was very visible from Code Inn looking out over the Portersville Bay area. And now all that has changed, and we've got most of this overland over West Fowl River and moving out towards the western edge of Mobile Bay. Some of the areas that are included in this warning include the far southern tip of Bell Fountain. Looks like it actually technically includes a little bit of Laurendine Road too. Down 193 here, there is River Road. You've got Old Fowl River there, then Fowl River dumps out into the bay. You've got the Greers in Bell Fountain right there. Here's Pioneer Road. This is Pine Top Road. These are areas that are in the warning. And then your rotation area down here to the south, really close to the Shell Yellowhammer plant, which is at the end of what is being labeled as Delchamps Road here on the velocity scan there. This is 193, which is the Dolphin Island Parkway leading north from Alabama Port up towards Fowl River. And again, real hard to make it out, but it looks like there's some rotation there. And Jennifer, are you seeing the same thing that I'm seeing here?
Yeah, I am, Jason, especially now that this is beginning to move further towards the east. Now it's about to just jump out over Mobile Bay, and soon it's going to be jumping out of this tornado warning. And so if you missed it at 4:48, so just about 15 minutes ago, the National Weather Service did confirm that it has weakened. They said that they're going to continue to keep this warning going, given the fact that we have seen some of those confirmed tornadoes earlier today. And so the potential is there for that rotation to re-intensify. But since then, as we've kept seeing more and more of these radar scans coming in, we've been seeing that weakening trend only continue out there. So again, it's looking less and less impressive. I've had quite a few folks here on the Facebook Live asking questions. Some of those folks were on River Road. And so although you are included in that tornado warning, this area of rotation is continuing to stay further towards the south of you. So that's really where we're starting to see some of that. It looks like Day Springs Road right there, just closer towards 193 in Alabama Port. That's really going to be the area that we're seeing that little portion of rotation, but looking less and less impressive, turning much more broad. And soon this will be spitting back out over Mobile Bay, but that is when we have to monitor it, because it was that water spout earlier just south of Code Inn not too long ago. And now that it's going to be moving back over water, we could see some of that recirculation taking place. And so a reminder, I know it's been storming out there today. It hasn't really been the best, but I live over the bay. And so as I've been crossing the bayway for the past few days, I've been seeing a lot of folks out there in the boats. They've been duck hunting out there. So in case you know anyone out there, just make sure that you're touching base with them. Tell them probably just best to go ahead and come in, especially now that we're approaching closer towards the sun setting out there. Visibility is only deteriorating because of that, because of some of these cloud covers. And here you go. We did just get brand new updates saying that they are continuing that tornado warning. If anything, they did go ahead and move it just a little bit further towards the north. there. So they trimmed out the area that we were seeing some of that rotation. And now just continuing there on the south side of Delchamps and Delchamps Road, what's being labeled there on our tracking map. But the National Weather Service did continue that tornado warning. They're continuing it just until 5:15, so we'll have this about just for the next 9 minutes. But it did say that a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 4 miles north of Alabama Port or 7 miles east of Bayou La Battery and is tracking northeast at 15 miles per hour. So very slow moving. Just saying that, hey, if you're in this area, just make sure that you're staying updated with us. I mentioned it earlier. We had a lot of folks that lost power, especially due to that confirmed tornado that we had closer towards the Bayou La Battery area earlier, Grand Bay area, I apologize, earlier. And so they lost all of that near Grand Bay Wilmer Road. Some of those tree limbs knocked down some of those power poles. And so they are without power at this time. You can always live track with us by downloading any of our Fox 10 weather apps, checking out our Fox 10 Gulf Stream, or we are live on Facebook Live, where in case you do have any of those questions, there's a lot of folks in there that can answer some of those questions for you as we do continue this coverage. So in case you miss anything with us, they're all listening there too, so they know who is included, helping just the Gulf Coast residents here, just helping each other stay updated during this time. But the National Weather Service did go ahead and continue that warning, but it is looking less and less impressive, much more broad, as it will continue to push over Mobile Bay here soon. We did just get that brand new scan. Looks to be coming together a little bit better at this time. Almost moved just a little bit. I'm mainly looking at some of those pixelated red coloration right there. That's where I'd place some of that rotation as it's beginning to move through. So right now this puts it right over Rebel Road on the north side there of Magnolia Creek Trail, on the west side of Pine Top Road, getting closer towards Smithport would be the next area included in this. We have Baumhour Road. Just trying to read some of these. Riverview Road and also East Point Road is what I can make out with some of those roads as we do get closer towards street level, Jason. Yeah, the BB Point Drive area as well. And so if we put it on reflectivity right now, we may be able to point out a little bit more as to what's happening where this is geographically. One of the reasons why I think the National Weather Service is continuing this warning is there's still a pretty substantial notch or hook showing up here on radar right there. So the structure of the storm is still holding together. And you've got West Fowl River runs basically from south to north through the Narrows, and then it starts to broaden out. And along Rebel Road, there are a bunch of houses along the river there. Also, Bellingrath Gardens is located about right here. So you got Bellingrath Gardens and Home, and that extends to Fowl River. And then Fowl River, part of it goes up to the north and another piece of it goes back off out towards the mouth of Mobile Bay. And that's what's called East Fowl River there and here. And we are looking at this moving up a little closer to East Fowl River. We've got it near Riverview Drive right now. That is Baumhour Road there. This is 193 and the Monlouis area. This is going to be a little south of Greer's and Bellefontaine, but it's going to be a close call for the Greer's and Bellefontaine and areas there. There's a couple of restaurants right in through there. I believe Bodine's, and you got the Pelican Reef Club. This may actually go right over the Pelican Reef Club here before it moves back out into Mobile Bay. So it's a forward speed of about 15 miles an hour, and your possible tornado would be located somewhere right here. I'd say it's probably right down here around Pine Top if there is a tornado on the ground. And the rotation area got really weak. Now it's tightened a little, just definitely something to monitor here. And what may happen if this does not produce a tornado over Monlouis, the old Shipyard Road area, and down here near Boulay Drive and Riverview Drive and Pine Top, then it's likely going to form back up into a waterspout over Mobile Bay. So this is moving northeast at about 15 miles an hour, and it will run into Mobile Bay here as it tracks out over the open waters and could even become a pretty substantial waterspout that may even be visible from areas along 193 a little south of Fowl River. This definitely produced a tornado earlier. So no confirmed tornado right now. We've covered this thoroughly. There's about another 4 minutes left in this warning. If we see anything that looks like it's getting down on the ground, the circulation is tightening up, we'll definitely bring
break in and let you know this is the area of concern right near where West Fowl River goes into East Fowl River here near Bellingrath Gardens. It is tracking to the northeast and out over Mobile Bay very, very soon. It is now 10 minutes after 5 o'clock. We have a lot of news to bring you, damage reports from earlier today. I'm going to send it over to Shelby Myers for now.
It is a storm tracker alert day, and our team